What's going on, guys? CryptoPapi here. In today's video, I bring to you an up-and-coming NFT drop called Shoes. Guys, I can't wait for you to hear my conversation with Airwalk because both he and I believe that fashion accessories and named apparel are going to be huge in the metaverse, just like they are in real life. And so stick around, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's get it. Guys, I am so freaking pumped to tell you that I have resigned from my 9-to-5 normie job. What does this mean? I am going all in on CryptoPapi. Wait for my CPD Gen Studios to come out. Guys, Bored Apes, you changed my life. Guess what, boys? It's time to take the plunge. Welcome back to the channel, and today we have a special guest, my man Airwalk, and he's going to talk to us about shoes. For those that don't know, there are actually quite a few sneakerheads in the NFT space. And, you know, one of the reasons this project caught my attention anyways, because it looks to be like a pretty unique way to create a shoes project. And so I want to know all about this project. And this is a project that's up and coming that you'll have time to do your own research on. Remember, guys, anything we talk about in here is not financial advice. Nevertheless, Airwalk, my man, welcome to the show. How about you introduce yourself?
Hey, thanks for having me. Airwalk, that's what I am on Twitter, and active on there, and been in NFTs for quite a while now, and a bit of crypto, and a bit of a serial tech entrepreneur guy. NFTZ.studio is kind of the parent company for this project, and that's us. And there's a good team of us behind it that are super, super excited to be bringing this to you. So
I love it. And you totally unrelated to the project that you're creating. You do own one or two or three apes. I don't know how many apes you own, but you're definitely part of it.
Two.
You got two?
Yeah. I got super lucky to get in early, and it's been a wild ride since. So
awesome. Well, congratulations on seeing that and on investing in what I think is obviously, one of the best assets to invest in. So, all right. So tell us about shoes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, profile pic, avatar type drops out there. And we really love the angle of thinking about things in the metaverse. There's got to be wearables coming. There's got to be interesting things to do there. And so we looked at what kind of accessory would make sense in that space. And as you can see by my name, I'm drawn to shoes as a product. Although Airwalk is just a name I had from as a kid, so it goes way, way back. And we thought it'd be really cool to do some super funky, unique spin on shoes. So I know there's a sneakerhead level, and then there's everything down to everyday wear, and we want to fit right in the middle, like the broad strokes of that around shoes. And so, like in the background here, you can see one that's like a tongue. There's little odes to the NFT community. The heel that's a diamond hand. The floor is lava. There's obviously pickle laces, which NFT project that might be referencing. And then there's just a lot of fun stuff in there that we think looks cool, is fun, but really it's the foundation. It's a membership to the NFT studio family, which is going to have future projects, airdrops, kind of a whole life. It's a long-term vision around accessories in the metaverse, 3D assets, airdrops, and then some fun things around the community and how we can reward them throughout. Trying to be pretty innovative on that side.
One of the things that totally caught my eye as soon as loaded up your website was sort of the art, and you actually managed to take an accessory, and I love how you combine that, with odes to the NFT world, like you're saying, and you've got like a laser eye on a shoe, which quite frankly, like doesn't always work. And I've seen people try it and fail. It caught my eye right away. Like it was done in a way that for me is actually artistically appealing. So I love that. It's unique. I don't know that I've seen an accessory itself go towards like putting laser eyes on it and then it actually looking good.
Right. Yeah.
So who's the artist, by the way?
Yeah, so she's a good friend of mine that I've known for about 15 years. And immediately when this came up, she's the only person that we would have do this. Her Instagram is on our website, and so people can look through. She's got stuff going back to 2015. She's just incredible. I can't say enough good things about how talented she is. And so we've worked through tons and tons of versions of these pieces and had a lot of fun doing it. And then we had some fun things too, where we've got art from a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 72-year-old, years young. And then we even did we're Canadian group. And so we had a shoe that kind of has some Canadian components to it. And our artist, she mocked up some Indigenous layers, but we really wanted to be true to, an actual Indigenous artist doing it. So we have a super talented guy named Nathan who did some Indigenous art for us too as well. So, which looks incredible. Yeah.
Nice. So the team itself is I mean, you're obviously showing yourself on camera, so the team is mostly non-anon, you could say.
Yeah, we got all Twitter links on there. Our Web3 stuff is going to be done by West Coast NFT. So highly reputable, incredible team. And we're super pumped about that. And then all the links are on there for people. We've got a couple people who, the Twitter's going to be fairly empty, but just because they've lived socially in other spaces. But yeah, we're all real. We're not anonymous, and we're excited to get it out there.
So tell us a little bit about the tokenomics of the project.
Sure. It's a 10,000 unit drop. The price is 0.1. We've had some questions around 0.1 versus 0.08. I think there's a psychological barrier there. This is a higher end project in the sense that we're going to do 3D versions of some, if not all, of the shoes. And we also have a long-term vision where we don't want to have to keep coming back to the community and saying, hey, we need to do another drop to kind of fund the next phase. And so it's a 0.1 entry price, but it is a membership, a lifetime membership. I'm a House of Kiva Genesis member, and that model to me made so much sense. Lifetime airdrops, incredible community. And so it's a bit of a token towards how they've done it and how they built it. And they're such an incredible group that we thought that was a great way to do it. So that's what the drop will be.
So I think one of the first questions that people ask, I'm not averse to like any price point, or I'm not one to say a project has to be this price. Like every 10K project has to be 0.08 or it's not going to work. In fact, I'm actually a strong believer that for a little while, there's a bit of a race to the bottom in terms of where you price your project at. And that has hurt some projects because what happens is from the moment that they mint, the floor price is just so low that I believe that people get scared in the secondary market rather than understanding that, well, it was just a really, really, really low mint price. People think it's just completely dumped, and it has a hard time getting out of that. And so just like in real life, there's a place for projects that are expensive, that are medium size, priced, and then sure, that are kind of entry level price. And I think as long as you know where you stand. So what I'll ask you is, why should we pay 0.1 for these sneakers versus, another project that launches at 0.03?
Yeah, for sure. I think the planned airdrops, which we're trying to make some of them surprise and delight when they come in. We hope that the very first one kind of pays you back immediately. We also, I've been in the Impact Theory Discord a bunch. Tom Billy's doing a cool project, and he's been saying over and over again, he's like, it's in my best interest if you sell and flip and royalties go. But I actually want people to hold. This is a membership. We want people to build a community around it and have a long-term impact. And so, to me, that price point reinforces that a bit as well. And as a high-end project, when we plan to do, Metaverse-ready assets of either the first drop or future drops, those things cost money, and we got to be able to fund that project that way. So I'd rather do it through the initial drop than kind of royalties and flippers and that kind of thing. So yeah.
All right, so 10,000 sneakers at 0.1, and what is the roadmap? I know you've touched on it a little bit, but what would you describe the roadmap to really be?
Yeah, so the roadmap for us, we've got a couple cool things in there. We've got a charitable portion of it you'll see on the website. So 10% of all secondary royalties are going to charities. Our Indigenous artists have selected charity as an example. Part of it will go to there. We will have physicals, merch, and clothing. We are looking into, obviously some of these would be pretty difficult to make laser eye tongue shoes in real life, but we're looking at other versions of what we can and can't do. That'll be a learning experience for us. And then we've got the airdrops, which we've got a really cool mechanism that we think is super innovative, which is around, think of a blue chip NFT project that you love and them potentially getting airdropped a shoe that matches their NFT. And then the shoe's member gets the other shoe. So you, for example, you get the left shoe and I get the right shoe. I'm a shoes member and you're a blue chip holder. We won't name any names. And so the only way to kind of get that 3D ready version and to get the pair is you need to own both. So I feel like it's going to be a win-win where either I buy it from you and you're super happy that you got airdropped this thing from this other project, and then I get the pair, or you buy it from me and I'm super happy that I got it. And so it creates this interesting dynamic between communities that I think will be fun and interesting. And then you've got to burn and redeem to get that pair. And with that pair, you're going to get, a 3D ready version for the metaverse, and you can rep your sneakers wherever you go. So
I love that idea.
Yeah.
For the longest time, right? Like, I actually love projects that in a way force you to collect a set. And they encourage basically secondary market trading. And one of the ones that I can give an example to is RSOP, which I'm really big on. Which it kind of just forced us to go and collect like royal flushes right when it released. So I could see some of that happening with this, and that's pretty cool. Now, how do we stop making it unreasonable for people to collect? So what if the only person that has the other shoe doesn't want to sell it? How would that work?
Yeah, there's going to be, so you can get different combinations of shoes is my thought around how to handle that. And then there's also could be a way that if a shoe isn't redeemed or sold in a certain period of time, so let's say a wallet goes dark on the person, the shoes member, or vice versa, that there'd be a mechanism that, it either expires and you can go to a shoe store and get that other side. So things to be worked out on the technical side, but we would have a lot of time to figure that out after the drop. So all challenges that we're super excited to take on and try and be innovative with. So we've got some good plans. I don't want to give it all away. For a long time, we weren't even going to talk about the making of pairs, but I keep getting people who are like, so is this going to be my profile pic? Is this going to be, am I going to try and flip a whole bunch of these? And I was just like, here's the actual vision. This is what we think is super cool, along with rewarding our members for the next 40 years, along with, future drops of cool things, along with, we've already got collaborations that I'm super excited about. We've got an artist that we'll be announcing later this week early next week, that's doing a design for us and a limited drop. So these will be, sneaker drops, limited drops, cool artist collaborations. And then we're partnering with a couple other well-known, awesome projects that have strong communities too. So it's exciting.
I love that. I perked up when you said shoe store. Like, it makes a lot of sense. Definitely unique. Again, there's a place in this market for people who love sneakers, and I do believe we're gonna make a transition from these profile pictures. Of course, there's always going to be a place for them, but at some point, people are going to complement their profile pictures with additional fashion, and that's kind of like where you are landing in that space. I'm curious. Any thoughts on Decentraland wear and being able to put our shoes on in Decentraland or Sandbox when it comes out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be part of the goal for sure. And if you use your imagination, think beyond shoes. We're obviously not looking to run and do avatars or PFP, but if you think about other accessories and things of that nature, so under the NFTs umbrella, that would be shoes. Shoes is the first step.
Yeah, I think the thing that has to be figured out for a project like this is how without a profile picture, or maybe in a profile picture, how do people get to flex the fact that they collected the set of what might be the most desirable shoe set that you have, right? Like, I don't know, that laser eye set looks super dope, and right, like, how it's a fine balance of nailing that and making sure, because fashion is really all about flexing. That's the only reason my wife buys an expensive purse over a cheap purse, right? Any thoughts around where you might be able to do that and how you might be able to do that?
Yeah, so there's going to be digital flexes, which is your profile pic, right? And I've tested these out, and we've worked hard we had some crazy backgrounds that were maybe too overbearing on a profile picture, and we do have some that don't have like the space or the haze, we call it, or the clouds and dirt. And so we've tested them, and they look pretty cool as a profile pic. So there is the opportunity to do that. But when we get into the term like mixed reality, where you're wearing Snapchat spectacles that can overlay content, and you're walking down the street and you can see other people's digital goods that they're wearing. That will be a really strong flex. And then just your avatar, whatever you have in the metaverse. Like I mentioned, House of Kiba, you could be rolling around with your gutter cat because they made those incredible 3D versions, and that cat might be wearing shoes. I don't know. So there's ways to flex digitally, metaverse, mixed reality, as well as it does work as a profile pic. And we could have people rally around. Everyone wants to show off their Yeezys and stuff like that, and that's usually done through social media. So
Yeah, and you mentioned something about physical wear as well. Like, do you envision this as a potential brand that gets into the real physical world?
physicals in the terms of the shoe, yeah, I think that would be a limited run, obviously, or a limited style. We'd have to close in. But I think these look great on a t-shirt, on a hat, as a brand. And so the shoe itself, the form factor, the way it is, the design of it, it'll be identifiable, hopefully, if we do our jobs well, that someone sees it on a hat and they're like, oh, that's shoes. I know that brand, just the way we see, I can't take the Board of Yacht Club merch off. I'm yet to be recognized down the street, but I'm hoping soon. And I know when I go to New York, it's going to be just an incredible time. So I think that could really work well.
Awesome. And so when does shoes drop, and how can people get involved that are listening to this?
We would love to have you in the Discord. We are quality over quantity. That's not to say we don't want as many people as we can, but I've been kind of personally reaching out to people and having conversations around what we're doing as opposed to just trying to blast things. But we will have a marketing push as well coming up. So Twitter, Discord, nftz.studio, NFT Studio on Twitter, and the website has the drop details. The date tentatively is the 19th, so there's a countdown on there. Things can change in NFT land pretty quick. We're pretty confident in the team, but we're not going to pretend that this isn't our first drop. That's why we partnered with experts in the space on the Web3 side. And so we've got a lot of talent on the other end, and we're super excited about the vision and the roadmap, and we're trying to execute with the best partners. So that'll be soon.
Nice. I'm excited. I'll definitely keep an eye out. Tell me about the traits in the project, and the different traits, and how many traits there are, and how you sort of balance how you made the decisions around that, actually.
Yeah, so I'm actually just checking the site because we've changed it a few times. There's 21 backgrounds, 23 laces, 22 soles, 24 heels, 21 toes, 24 tongues, 22 materials. So if you look at the shoe, the material is that component in the middle. The tongue is obviously the tongue. The laces, the toe is at the front, the heel, the sole. Getting those layered properly is pretty interesting because you're doing kind of a three-dimensional, two-dimensional object as opposed to just like a straight-facing person or something. And it's a fine balance. We've been playing with rarities quite a bit around having a bunch of boring shoes that are less rare and having all of them be incredible and having less recognizable, like top tier rarities. So I'm trying to find a good blend where I don't really want any boring combinations. And so we've kept it where you're not going to, the floor potentially should have ones that someone identifies with and it's like, that's the floor, but I think that's like super cool and it resonates with me and I'm going to get it, as opposed to like, well, that's obviously the floor because it's an ugly shoe. And so we might lose a little on the top end of like, that's clearly the holy grail of whatever, but for us, it's going to be in sets. So if you've got the gold toe with the gold material, with the gold heel, the gold record sole, and the gold bar tongue, and the gold background, that is the super rare of all rare kind of for that version of shoe. And so it's going to be based around the themes. Because when we run the generator, it's very rare that you're going to get even 3 or 4 of the same theme traits together. And so those will be the holy grails. It's kind of the 22 themes. If you get a full set, you're looking at a pretty sweet one. But then some of these ones are mashups, like the tongue and the bones and all, and the Halloween eyes and all that kind of stuff, and they still look pretty awesome. So
Yeah, I think I see the Halloween one in the background, as I'm sure everybody else does, and I think that's good timing for October 31st. And it sort of speaks to fashionable accessories in the space that this kind of project might be one where people want to collect multiples of, because based on season, they might want to flex their Halloween shoe, or maybe their Christmas shoe, or whatever else is next. But I'm really intrigued by the art. Out of all the shoes you've revealed and teased, Honestly, I haven't looked at a bad one. I haven't looked at one I don't like, and that's super impressive. I don't know if these are all high end or even floor shoes, but right now everything I've seen looks great.
Awesome. Yep.
All
They're
right,
a
so
combination. They're not all sets. A few of these are sets, but you can. I would say half of these are like mixed and matched, which is the goal. So yeah.
right. Right. So we're going to go ahead. We will link down below the Discord, as you mentioned, the
Sweet.
website as well. Guys, so don't forget, this is minting on October 19th. Is there a time yet?
Not yet. No.
Okay. And
Following everyone on the website for sure. Yeah.
yeah, and that's wise, as in this space can be pretty unpredictable.
Yeah.
And gas can sometimes, change a scheduled time as well.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to kind of keeping an eye out on this and see what you do from here to the 19th. And definitely very intrigued by what you guys are doing. Any last words?
I just want to thank you. I like following you, and I mentioned offline earlier before we started chatting, but you helped me mint on contract for the first time. You're just positive, energetic, and you can tell you care about helping educate people. And so I'm really pleased that you had me on here, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. I'm thrilled to have had you, and I wish you the best of luck in the drop.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. In case you didn't notice the animations, this drop for now has been rescheduled to October 26th. And so you still got time to do your research. Join the Discord down below, join the Twitter, and make sure you're following the countdown on their website to know when exactly this drop is going to happen. And now, guys, I leave you with shoes. Check it out. Peace.